So I bet many of you know the satisfaction of putting together a jigsaw puzzle, all of the pieces magically falling into place. If we think about this as a metaphor for understanding ourselves, some people have no trouble at all, whereas other people have trouble because they have pieces that are missing and they're unable to see that full picture. So this is my job in a way. I help people find those missing pieces, and I try to answer the question for the client of who they are and why. See, I'm a psychologist that specializes in assessments, so think IQ tests, and I help train future psychologists to administer, score, and interpret those assessments here at the Counseling and Assessment Clinic on campus. While all of this can get really technical, all it means is that I train students to help people. Help how, you might ask. You want to help clients understand themselves, understand their current functioning, and perhaps provide a label or diagnosis so that they can get help from other people. Typically, we see clients coming in who are struggling. That may mean struggling emotionally, struggling in school or work, or struggling to even understand why they're struggling. Our tools and understanding can help clients clarify their problem areas, even if they don't know what the root cause is. Assessments and answering clients' questions are one form of help, but we do provide other forms of help that really should not be understated here. For example, we can provide recommendations for individuals with disabilities to receive accommodations to ease the learning burden, such as providing them with a distraction-free environment to take tests to reduce some of that added stress. Another form of help may be facilitating a conversation about what severe depression looks like, what it feels like, and making those connections for folks as to how that may be hard to pay attention in class or even hard to get out of bed in the morning. Finally, help can mean assessing for suicide and providing that individual with immediate care and assistance. I would say that on the whole, sometimes we have assessments that come to our building and they're relatively straightforward and the diagnosis is clear, but that's often more the exception rather than the rule. And that's because when interpreting assessments, it's more of an art than a science. We do have technical standardized results. We have tools that are electronic in nature, and we have diagnostic criteria that have to be met. But really, at the end of the day, we're looking at interpreting assessments by contextualizing the person in their environment. For example, we might have a client coming in thinking that they have ADHD or some other attention deficit disorder, but after we interview them, get some background and history, we find that they've experienced a traumatic event around the critical age that we're looking at. So it's our job to interpret whether or not they're struggling because of something that happened to them or struggling because of something they might have been born with. Essentially, for this example, it would be nature versus nurture. At the end, we want clients to walk away with a better understanding of who they are and recommendations to help them feel better. An accurate diagnosis is vitally important as we want to make sure that we're treating the correct symptoms. So just like you wouldn't want to treat a headache with a Band-Aid, we want to make sure our diagnoses, interventions, and recommendations actually fit the problem. At the Counseling and Assessment Clinic, I supervise students along with other faculty, and we can typically filter a little over 100 assessment clients a year. That means 100 clients come into our door thinking that they have a problem or concern that they want answers for, and 100 clients walk out of our door with a solution, an answer, or recommendations to follow up on. I want to end going back to our jigsaw puzzle example. I think that everybody should have the opportunity to put together their puzzle, but sometimes people have a hard time doing that because their pieces are missing or out of reach. Assessment can help fill that gap and provide tools and resources so individuals can find the piece, put together their puzzle, and enjoy the masterpiece of themselves. In conclusion, the goal of the assessment is to help people piece together their future. Thank you.